Hi all, it's Kylie and I'm back for another class for our beginner-friendly junk journal series. Just 2 quick pages this time. I've had one of those weeks. You know, you have one of those weeks where you just can't focus on one thing. I don't know if you do, but I do. And I've been sidetracked so many times that I've come into my studio this week that I've got so many projects on the go. I've done 2 other videos for completely different things, and I've started a design team project and I've been working on this, and I don't know if you can see the mess behind me, but there are so many projects, half started, part started, 3/4 started over there. It's not funny. So we've only got 2, I'm afraid, for this week. So I have done a few others in the book, started filling pockets and things like that. I will run through those. But our 2 quick classes this time, I'll just run through the ones that I have done. So I went back to this page and I've started to fill in with tickets and things in that pocket, and the same with that pocket. Now these are all stamped. You know how I love my stamps. I have, and I think they were very late night ones, this one as well, which had the 3 larger pockets. These have all been filled up. Now what I have done is, you know our little envelopes that I have given you the freebies for in my Ko-fi shop? So they're freebies, and I showed you how to, I think I've still got another one here, how to actually cut those so that you will make pockets with them. What I've done with these is I've actually backed them with some lined paper to make little pockets. So if I can open that, you'll see that they are now little pockets, so that when they go in, like so, and I'm going to do this back to front, and then they just slide, am I right way up? That's the right way up. So that then they just slide straight in and sit in, and then you can just pop other bits and pieces in them. And then I did one of the large ones, and I've got him here somewhere there, and did the same thing with it. So it's now a side tuck in behind that large pocket, but I can also then pop other bits and pieces in. So I think they may have been the only ones that I've ended up filling in this time. We are doing this page this time, probably not in sequence for the way that they're filmed that you'll get, but there's that one. And then at the end I've gone back to this page that we did the other week, and I've now, you know, I said with our little thing, we've got our bookmark in here. So that's one of the ones that we're doing today as well. I hope you'll come along. I know it's only 2 quick ones. I hope you're still enjoying this series, and we'll jump into it. So we need a bookmark to go into our little slot in here that we did the other week. Now I've pulled a few things out. I've just grabbed a piece of manila folder that I've cut to size for what I want for my bookmark. So it's going to go in here so that it comes across the page. I've got room for that in this. It just still tucks into the book, but it means it's easy to get out. You'll know where it's always found. Okay, so we can just go straight through there. I've grabbed a piece of our paper pad that we're using, which will go onto this one and layer up like so. And I've also grabbed a clothing tag. Now I love these. I've got a friend that gives me lots of these. I obviously don't buy the right clothing. She always has hers that are on fabric. So some of them I dye. I've got some more over here. That's the colour that they normally come. Same brand. She obviously loves this brand. Thank you, Lisa. But I want to use the rest of this one. I'm going to actually cut off where the eyelet is. I don't want the eyelet piece. I don't mind that this is where the eyelet's been. Sometimes it rips. Yep, beautiful. And that was right where the eyelet was, so it's going to give me as much as possible. I'm going to stretch this out, and I'm going to stamp on this one. So this is going to go in the centre, nice and rough and ready. Before I do anything though, all of my journals have my little label on them. So what I'm going to do is pop that on the back of this bookmark. So I'm just going to pop it in here. This is just my little embosser with my K for Kylie, or Kylie's Card Craft, or whatever else you want to say. Just need to give that a good push. And so what it does, I don't know if you can see that in the light there, it just gives my K. That's always somewhere in my journals. But that's going to be on the outside. This one's going to go and cover that so that it sits in here. You won't see it on the front, but it's just down there on the back. I also want to round my corners. So just so that it slots in a little bit better. And I'm going to need to round the corners on this one as well. And then I'm going to ink them up to give them that little bit of pop when they sit on there together. So we'll just use our standard brushed corduroy. And I'm just going to roughly go around the edge. Make sure I've got that round the right way. Don't want my K to end up being upside down once I've put all this in, so I'm always going to keep it up that way. This one I've used because I like, there's just a little bit of something going around the paper. It's just one of these offcuts where we're still trying to use up the remaining, there's a new word, the remainder of this paper pad. So that'll just go straight down on there like that. We can glue that one on. Beautiful. So I need my glue bookie. Right, so I'm going to glue that. I'm just going to use my glue stick. Alright. So this is a nice, quick, easy bookmark to do, which are always nice to have in journals somewhere. Just means that if they're using them as an actual journal, they've got somewhere to mark their place for their days that they're writing in, or if it's a travel journal for where you're up to next or anything like that. Bits of newspaper everywhere. If they're not writing in it and they don't need a bookmark for that specific journal, if it's just a decorative piece, the whole journal, then it's nice to have a bookmark in there that they can pull out and actually put in the books that they read as a reminder of that journal. Right, so here's this one. I just want to rough this right up. I just want this going down in the centre like that. And we'll adhere that one down. But I want to stamp. I want be brave, be bold. I'm just working out what I want. I've already gone through my quotes and found ones that one will fit on this piece of fabric and two are fairly solid in their wordings. I don't want things that are really, really delicate and dainty because quite often you lose them on the fabric anyway. And if you're doing a quote or words, you need to be able to see what those words are. So be brave, be bold. The other thing I'm looking at putting on, there we go, are a few butterflies, just so that it ties it all in again with what's going on with the rest of this journal. So I've just pulled out a few butterflies and I'm thinking that one. That's a fairly solid one. So that one is that one just there. And that, if I go like that, they will all fit on there beautifully. I'm going to do it with my stamping platform, just in case I need to give them a couple of goes with the ink. Pull that one out. Put this one in first. Sit that in. I think it's probably about time I changed my paper. Just going to sit it there for now until I work out where to put this. Up the right way usually works. That will give that room, won't it? For that one to sit up there and that one to sit down there. Beautiful. All right. Ugh. I'll hold that down like so. Colour-wise, look, if it's something that I'm going to be washing and wearing or all the rest, then I'd need to use a permanent ink. Simple as that. But as this is on a bookmark inside a journal, blah, 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 it doesn't necessarily need to be a permanent ink. I don't want something too runny in an ink because I don't want it to to spread out. And I've got stays on, depending on what school you went to, that I quite often use for these, but I want it slightly darker so that it does stand out. So I'm actually going to go back to my VersaFine in the clear. They're a pigment ink, so they are a juicy type ink, but we don't want them to spread out too much. But these stamp beautifully, or they ink up beautifully. I'm just looking for some colours. Maybe I go the green for my wording, and then the darker colours for my butterflies. Let's try it. We can always try anything we like, can't we? We're just going to push that down, and it might take a few inking sessions. Or it might not. Look at that. So we can see that beautifully on there. We'll get rid of that one. How about we wipe it, just so I don't get it all over my fingers. Right, that's that one. I'll put that ink away because I don't need to. And that was Shady Lane, which is a really nice deep green. I'm going to go my butterfly down here. I want that down there like that. And let's go this one. Fallen Leaves is a kind of a really dark brown to a black when it comes out. It's a lot like, man, I'll stamp this because I've got it inked up already. It is a lot like the butterflies that were in the paper pack. Hang on a moment, let's have a look. That's nice. Right, so these butterflies that are in this paper pack, let me just pull them back out because I've got everything sitting in here. If I haven't just, oh, I have, I pulled them already. So you will see that a lot of these are this sort of colour. So that's what I'm aiming for. This is a slightly more grey, but I think this will go with that page. So that's that one. They've come up a treat. I'm going to go the same colour, but I'm just going to make sure I wipe that off my butterfly first. And this one I want that way, like so. And we're going to stamp that one in exactly the same colour. Make sure you got it nicely covered with this one, these sorts of ones, because they're more of a solid stamp, and so we need that ink coverage on them. Let's have a look. And that's why we do a misty where they're all stuck down, because if I lose my hands and my acrylic block falls back down, I've stuffed something. At least I know it's going to go onto the same spot. Right. How's that? See, on its own, that would make a gorgeous little tag. I love stamping on fabric. I love popping a little bit of fabric. Now, we popped some fabric on the one from last week, the little tag, but we didn't stamp. I did mention that we could stamp on it if we wanted to, but this time we've gone into the stamping. So I'm just going to sit those ones back on there so I don't lose them. Put them on the stamp things. Pop that one there. And let's have a look at this now. See, I'm liking that. Now, being a bookmark, yes, you could pop some tassels and bits and pieces out the side. But because of where this one goes, it's going to cover that slightly halfway mark. So anything coming out of there is going to get caught in this. So for this bookmark, it is literally like that. That, I think, looks rather well. We're going to pop this on. Let's see how well this glue runs. It is, once again, an absolutely hideous day here, and I'm going to actually have to pop my glue on this so that I've got it just the right size. I looked at the weather forecast a little while ago, and it had, where we are, Leopold, which is in Geelong, and it had Leopold 8. Feels like -2. So I have had the heater on in this room for a couple of hours, but whether this glue is going to work or not is another thing, and I didn't even think about that until just then. All right, it was working last night for me because I was I came up to do this last night, and then I thought, no, I need to be doing a design team project, and started doing that, and then got sidetracked on something completely different again, and had a ball with some stamping acetate. You know, the little bits of acetate that you come across that are on your stamps when you buy new stamps. So I've been playing around with those and backing those. So I love doing that with my acetate for my stamps, and they were just sitting there. So we get sidetracked at the easiest things, don't we? It's bad. So it is so easy to get sidetracked. Here it comes, and I'm going to use my silicone brush to spread it out. So if I just pop it on, I don't want too many big globs that the silicone brush is not going to be able to put out. And it doesn't need to go right to the edge. I'm happy if it... All right, let's have a look at that. Grab the brush. And what we're going to do is just spread this out so that it's a little bit even. Like so. Get this stuck on straight away, or as quick as we can. There to there. Round about even. Around about. Look at that. How quick and easy is that? Drop that glue before it now starts to erupt over the top. And I like all these bits. If you don't like all these bits, you can by all means trim them off. For me, I like all those. That will just slide straight in there. And it gives a little bit of interest going on in there. And on the back, it all matches with this if we're still writing on this. And then you will see my K just there. Don't know if you can see the K. It is there, I promise you. See? Just there. And that's just because I put those on every one of my journals. That's my signature for my journals. All right, we'll go on to the next one. So this one now. We did this one, or I did this one off camera the other week, and we've popped in our little one that we did make at the start. So when I've adhered this in, I've adhered it there, and there, so I've got room for a pocket in here. That's what we're going to do right now. Now I've gone and got more of our paper pad, and I've just got some scrap, just a plain green scrap. Saves me having to get rid of the white on the other side. And my scrap on this was not wide enough. If I put that in, it's going to go all the way in, and I want it to come out. So I've gone and got some scrap. I've cut this down to size so that it slides in and out beautifully if I keep it straight. And this is where I want this one to come out to. So again, you can see that there is a pocket and that there's something to come out there. So I've cut this one down to size, and I'm going to adhere that so that it's right against the edge here, because I don't want to see the green here, but I do like my borders. And then I've got an extra bit down here that we can pop something on. So first things first, we'll go back to our ink, and I'm not rounding the corners on this one. I probably don't need to do that on that side. I am just leaving them square. So that's that. I love the colours on this. So it's got our green, it's got our coffee stain sitting there, and all the rest. That's that one. He's going to go straight in there. Right. We can adhere that one down. I've pulled out, again, as per normal with me, I've pulled out more stamps. This one can just be stuck straight on. Nice, quick, easy journal cards to pop into all our pockets that are using up the rest of our little paper pad that we started with. So your paper pad may have had more in it than mine. Mine didn't had quite a bit missing from it, so, and that was the whole point to this, to use up the remainder of it. If you've started with a fresh paper pad, you'll have more, which will give you more options. Right, so that's that one. Give that a good push, and that's going to fit in there now like so, so that when it sits out, it sits there like that. You can see that there is a tab or something to pull out from there. I'm going to I'm not going to adhere anything. I'm going to stamp. Got that one for the front. Here we go. I want to stamp, keep smiling because life is a beautiful thing and there's so much to smile about. It's one of my favourite little quote stamps, but I'm popping it in here so that, because I'm going to see this much, I don't want a little bit of it hanging out. Does that make sense? Right, so this time, if we like, we'll just use a normal acrylic block and we'll stamp it. How's that? And see if we can stamp straight. Set that there. Again, I'm going to use my VersaFine, and I think I'm going to just stick with that. Look, yeah, because all my bits on the inside, I'm thinking I want to go with that, and we'll go back to our sepia for our outside one. Okay. Make sure your stamp is up the correct way, and I'm going a little bit over that way. Just rock it a little bit. There we go. You've got a perfect image. Now, get rid of the ink before you pop your hand in it. That's that one. Look, it could stay like that. We could pop something down there. Me personally, I would pop some lace down there because that's what I do. But what we do have in here, remember these that came with my paper pad? I got little borders. So yes, I could adhere that on that. That would look nice. Let's just do that. I've also got this very fine little one, but let's just do that. That one works. So at this stage, I'm just going to chop it off there. And then I can trim down, work out so that I've got it even. I want, because at the moment it's exactly the same as that, I'm just going to take a little bit off each end. That bit. And that bit. And then I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that we now fit. Look at that. Look at that. Take off some of those bits where you can see where it's been popped out from the paper pad and it was never done originally. And then I'm just going to ink it up. Now, because I've already inked that edge, I'm going to ink the flat edge of this one as well. All right. And that'll just allow it to pop. It'll take the white out of there. Look, when they're borders like this, sometimes it gets a little bit hard to get right in there. You just need to give yourself some time. Straight through. Until we get back onto the easy bits again. I'm just getting rid of that white. Okay, so this one can go there to there. That finishes that off lovely. I'm actually thinking I might use my other glue because I don't want, if I use my glue stick over that, fine, but it'll get gunky in here. And I'll spend the time then trying to pick those out. So I'm going to actually use my other glue, just my normal white glue, which is so hideous. It's not funny. And I promise before I do the next part, I will get some new black cloths because they're really rather hideous. I think it's about time I change those. Well, let's face it, I clean up my ink with them. I wipe my hands with them with all the glue. I wipe my paper once I've glued it. Yeah, it's time to make them disappear, I think. All right. Turning that over, trying not to get too much glue on your hands. Sliding it right into it, moving it up so that, oh, that aligns beautifully. Try not to use those, Kylie. Look, they are absolute. I'll just flick it. I promise I'll get new ones. Right, so there's that one done. He will slide in there beautifully now. I like that. So here, the other little bits that I cut off, you know, my green piece and the remainder of that. That actually fits in there, I think. It should. Which would technically make another pocket, wouldn't it? I do need to rip off that pencil mark. Let's have a look. Do I want to do a thumb notch? I might just do a really tiny thumb notch, just so that it doesn't. Let's go that one. And I always use my ovals. I don't want much. I do need to make sure it's even. About that. Right, so just a little bit of a thumb notch. Going around. That one will fit on there. Yep, look, that covers that, so that's fine. I want to stamp on there, and I want to stamp, I've pulled it out, enjoy every moment. So that's that one. You can see this is a well-loved long-term stamp. This for years. So just a little block, and then it must be time to clean up my blocks, because I'm running out of blocks over here, which means I've got stamps everywhere from the projects this week that are still sitting in them. So that's going to go there. I'm going to do that in sepia, but I've just had a thought. Don't you hate it when I've had a thought? Still lots going on here. So if that's sitting there like that, I could use, let's just, leaves, here we go. What I want, something small that I can, now that might actually go with this paper pad. So let's just have a look at some of these leaves. I've got leaves everywhere and I don't know where I've put them. This is my problem. Right, so let's just have a look at that one. And over there with that book. I am thinking, so if that's going to go there, this could sit in. Something like that might be really nice. So let's do that first, which means I want a different colour. We'll go into these greens. Let's find a different colour green. I've got peat moss. Pesto might be just a bit too dark. Sorry, I know, I'm trying to get these ones all done beforehand, but I haven't, have I? So, we'll just do a test run, will we? Just so I can pick colour that I want. I really think peat moss is going to be too light. I'm going to have to pull out another block. Hang on. I had so many blocks and they've all got stamps on them. Oh my word, Kylie. Clean up your blocks, woman. That's a nice colour. That was peat moss. So that's a goer. I reckon pesto will be too dark and meadow will be too light. So let's go meadow first. Fairly certain that's a bright green. Liking all of them, this is not going to help, is it? And the third one is pesto. Now these are old Adirondack ones. I don't even know if these are still available. Pesto's too brown, but it's a nice brown. All right, guys. First green. We'll just go to the first screen. Make the decision, Kylie. Just make the decision. I like all of them. See, you have, well, for me, I have so many inks in there and I tend to work with the same ones each time and I forget my other colours. And I should pull them out more often. I really should. So I just want that up there like that, I think. I still need to have room for my enjoy every moment. And that should fit in there like that. Yes, there we go. So I wanted just sepia for that one. Just that. All right. Straight. Straightish. All right. A little bit of a rock. This one's a fairly solid one again, especially the E. There we go. So how's that? That didn't take that much once I stopped fluffing around, sorry. There we go. It didn't take that much to finish off this page. This will be inked down as a pocket. Now you can pop stuff already in this. You can pop some tags. You could just pop some die cuts, bits and pieces for them to use. It's up to you, or you can leave ones like that empty as secret spots for the journal owner to pop in mementos and things like that. So don't feel you have to fill, yes, every pocket in your journal, because sometimes it's nice for the recipient of a journal to have spots to actually tuck their own tickets in, their own mementos, their own little letters. So it's not always required to fill every single pocket. It's nice to have journal spots for them to journal about what they've now, say with this page, they've got an area where they can journal about what the bits and pieces, your mementos and all the rest that they've tucked in here. So in here and in here. I want to do something up there. We've got a little bit of time and let's go to our jar, which is this one. Enjoy every moment. Oh my God. What have I got up here? Cold cream? Cold cream's not helping you enjoy every moment, is it? What's that? Artist supplies, yes, like that. Let's just have a look, and I want, they're all bigger ones. I've got my bits and bobs over here, haven't I? I'm just going to go to a label very quickly, not the blue, as again I said these are full of labels from everywhere. It's just a matter of finding one that the colours are going to work with these. That one's not too bad, the signature wise. Photographs, that would work because there could be photographs in there. There we go, something like that doesn't colours will all work in with that as well. There we go. Put photographs away. Close that because I've been known to hit that with my arm and it's rather a mess. Get rid of that white edge. Wouldn't you think by now I'd just sit here one day watching YouTube or something like that and just going around and inking all these labels that I actually have sitting here to save me doing it later on. It's actually a really good idea. That's for one of those days, you know, when you've got no mojo and you're just sitting there and you just want to watch some YouTube. All right. Do I want some cloth on that? No, I know what I want. I want a little bit of lace. Oh, and after you see this, you will see coming up shortly at some stage, a wonderful, wonderful lace haul that I have just got. Oh my word, and I need lace like a hole in the head. I do. Shouldn't be allowed. I didn't go there to buy lace. Truly, I didn't. I want that. No, I didn't. There you go, just like that. So, I'm going to stick that down as is. Grab my glue book. And that will just go down with my glue stick. Like so. Just up here. This one is just going to get stuck in there like that, and then this one can sit over it. Okay, so a little bit of our what's the name glue, which I put there in the sun. Get rid of that. Ooh. So I just want a little bit across there. So it goes from the end. There you go, that's all I need. Just a little bit. Find that. Try and make sure I'm up the right way. That way. Don't think it makes any difference sometimes, does it? Right, there's that one. And then this one's going to sit in there like that, so we'll use it. Look, 3 different glues for one little flap. Really? But each glue, I think, sometimes has its merit. I literally use the glue stick on the other one for pure laziness. I've used the other glue for because I needed to put lace on. And this one I wanted the extra strength because it's going to sit up and above all that. So there we go. Another page finished with all our little bits and pieces, ready for them to pop their own ones in. Right,